Hey folks, it's Matt once again, and this is a review for a guy named Shattuck, the review guy, who was nice enough to send me a few gifts from my Amazon wish list. So I definitely thank him for that. Sent these, very kind of him, as well as a little note. So thank you very much for that. And his request was not only to give him a shout out, but to review this. I thought, I'll take that deal. This is a film Key and Peele, these guys, I'm not really much into. I've seen some little things. I've gotten a few smirks here and there, but it just wasn't my cup of tea too much. I know my friend Mike OCP is much more of a bigger fan of them than I am. But it's a fun little idea where these two guys are cousins, and the guy over here has broken up, woman left him, and on that same day, a kitten comes up at the front door, and this guy takes care of the kitten. The cousins go out to see a movie, which I liked that bit where the movie they went to see, you see like a little poster of it on the side. It's like Liam Neeson film called The Substitute Teacher, where Liam Neeson has a gun. Little bits like that was pretty fun. And they realize when they come back that their house has been broken into, and pretty much they go to find the cat that's been taken. And they get into some stuff where they have to pretend to be tough guys, and you have this woman. Oh, they're not going to have her on the back here, really? Of course not. But her character's name is High C, and then you have this gangster guy dealing with drugs played by Method Man, and these two guys are trying to act tough, and then they pretend to be these, what were they called, the Allentown brothers, which at the beginning of the film you definitely see some well staged action, and the fact that they do slow mo and wide shots where at the beginning these two guys, the Allentown brothers, are shooting all these bad guys up, and it is rated R, while this kid runs away, is running through everything that's going on, and these two Allentown guys, they'll like do a flip off the wall and shoot a guy in the head, and this epic music. And I will say there's some good looking shots in the film. Like when the kid is running through the city and there's this epic type of music. And I like some of the music because some of the musical cues remind me a little bit of 90s action films. Like these little moments remind me like a Con Air or Broken Arrow, like those 90s action, little bits. Not the whole story, but little bits. And the fact that it's a kitten, and I'm a cat guy. I like pussy. Yeah, I'm a cat guy. Kittens are cute. And the kitten they have here, well, not in that get up, but when it just looks normal, the kitten is a cute. The kitten is really the breakout star of the movie, to be honest, which is a good thing and a bad thing, and I'll say why. Because honestly, the kitten, I think he was the best character in the movie. Sadly enough, before I go forward, I thought the film was okay. My friend Mike OCP is a much bigger fan of it than I am, because I watched his review again after seeing this. I mean, before doing this video. He's much more of a bigger fan, but it makes sense. He's much more a bigger fan of Key and Peele than I am. I guess if Key and Peele, if you enjoy their sketch comedy, their skits, uh, you're going to be more of a fan of this than I was. I don't hate the film. I thought it was okay. There's some, the kitten is cute. There's some fun little bits in it. Sometimes where it made me smirk or chuckle a little bit. The idea is fun. It's goofy. It's silly. It's meant to take the piss out of action movies. I like the idea that they're going through all this to, save a kitten. Uh, I actually have fun with that idea. I kind of wish though that it would have went further in a way. Like it's supposed to be ridiculous. It's ridiculous on purpose, but I kind of wish they pushed it more. I guess I don't know. I think about how Hot Fuzz really pushed it in the third act. And, they did reference films like Bad Boys 2 and Point Break and such, but they really, I don't know how to put it. I don't know, yeah, I don't know how to put it. It just, I'll get more of that when I go through the film. But it's a good looking film. Some of the jokes kind of run thin for me. Like there's this running joke with George Michael's where this guy here is a big fan of George Michael's music, and I don't mind some of the music. You got to have faith, the faith, the faith. But it could have just been one or two scenes. This is like a joke that keeps popping up throughout the film, and I'm like, okay, I get it, George Michael's. I don't think it's that funny. Maybe other people find it funnier than I do. I'm like, okay, but it's not that hilarious because first the guy's listening, got to have faith, the faith, the faith while driving. Then when they're acting tough and they're with Myth and Man's group, this guy goes into a party to. He's pretending to be one of these these Allentown brothers, and with the girl High C, they are trying to sell drugs to Anna Faris, playing herself, only as a coked out bitch with a sword. Which I don't know. I don't mind Anna Faris, but I just didn't care for the scene. Just didn't find it as funny as other people, I guess. I just the scene that I'm like I could do without it. It really. I mean, I think Anna Faris is okay, but maybe I'm not just big of a fan to give a shit that it's Anna Faris. As long as Anna Faris, I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't give a shit about the House Bunny scary movie. She's okay, but 3 and 4 sucked ass, and the first two were good for the Wayans or James Woods in the second movie. I mean, but anyway, while that's happening, this guy is in a car and they find the guy's phone and his playlist as George Michael's, and the guy's explaining them and gets them to like George Michael's and lying about who George Michael's is. And then there's another scene where one of the guys has George Michael's tattooed on his chest, on his stomach. Then there's another one where there's a drug scene where this guy takes a drug, and there's one bit I liked where you have the kitten talk, and it's actually Keanu Reeves' voice doing a little bit from, I don't know if it's The Matrix or such, but I like that they got Keanu Reeves to do a little cameo because they're in the title of the film to do the voice of the kitten in this one little dream scene. It's on YouTube. If you type in Keanu dream scene, drug, whatever, something like that, you'll find it. And it was cool that Keanu Reeves, because I'm a Keanu Reeves fan, but just he's before that he's in the music videos, the George Michael's freedom, freedom, da, 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 da. And then you hear the fucking song again when the big action scene is happening at the end. I'm like, we did it, I did it. This is a running joke that has run its course, is drowning now. I get it. George Michael's ha 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 ha. Ha ha. So, I mean, there were certain jokes that kept running that wasn't that interesting. And the Anna Faris scene, I just didn't care for. It wasn't that it made me mad. I'm like, okay, okay, Anna Faris. She's kind of crazy in every movie. I mean, is there a movie where she plays a normal person? So her playing crazy is just like, that's what she does in almost every movie. She does that in the scary movie films. I think she did in the house. I don't even remember the House Bunny that much. I saw like on cable or something, flipping through it. Not my fuck yet. Not my cup of tea. I don't mind her as an actress. It's just, whatever. But then something goes haywire, and everyone, including Anna Faris, gets killed. But then at the end of the film, you realize that's not the case because you find out that the woman High C is a police officer undercover, but you find that out too much later. And the woman playing High C, I thought she did fine. She did fine. I don't know, the whole middle section when they go see Method Man, they have to pretend to be these Allentown brothers. They have to pretend to be tough. I don't know. It just was a shit that wasn't really that funny to me. It wasn't really that interesting to me. And it's like I'm kind of watching it, sort of. I'm doing stuff on my computer and watching it as I'm doing stuff on my computer, and it doesn't draw my attention. It's not, ha ha, ha, that kind of thing. It was there. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm trying to figure out how to put it. What is about this film? You know what? If if you don't have Keanu Reeves, and then some of the plots does remind one a little bit of John Wick, not really, but just the fact that it's Keanu Reeves somehow involved, and it's a instead of a dog, it's a kitten. Completely different, but at the same time, I'm like, just go full force and what if it was a badass motherfucker doing all this stuff to get his cute kitten back that has been kidnapped? Like they had that stupid thing in Homefront where Jason Statham's cat got kidnapped. Go full force. Have like Jason Statham or someone his kitten's been taken, or Liam Neeson or someone, and these kicking ass taking names and be over the top and be gory and be action packed, and even though it's the silliest fuck idea, and just have fun with it that way. Or I don't know. For some reason, I kept thinking of like Hot Fuzz or something, which I liked more than this. I don't know what it was. Key and Peele. Maybe because Key and Peele themselves, they were okay, but they're not really guys that I want to check out their other stuff if they do it in the future. They're okay as actors, but they're not really. I don't really think they're that funny. I don't really think they're that gravitating as actors or as comedians or as both or either. They're just sort of there, and I'm like, I don't know what it was. It's the whole middle where they go to Anna Faris, and the one guy teaching these people about George Michaels, and then Anna Faris gets killed, and of course later on you find that was all BS, and then um, talking with Method Man, and it's like, okay, Method Man, who's plays Method Man from other movies. Method Man is not much of an actor, and he's there. He's not bad. It's just, okay, Method Man is Method Man, just without weed, without taking too much drugs. And one moment and then also the kitten disappears for a good chunk of time during that middle section as well. It's just them trying to, I'm the tough guy shit, and I'm talking deeper in my voice, and it's like, fuck, if you want to see that done well, watch Stir Crazy, where Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor are coming in, and Richard was like, we're gonna be bad, or we're gonna be fucked. That sort of thing. I mean, that made me laugh more than this. And pretty much they get the cat and they go, and then they get kidnapped by these Allentown brothers who they've been pretending to be, and they're these big guys. I think also played by these guys as well in dual roles, but like you can't see their face. They got like hair covering them. And when the kitten is there, is pretty decent. I thought whoever trained the kitten, whoever picked the kitten out, did a fantastic job. Again, I think the kitten steals the show. Earlier in the film, the guy had a picture of his girlfriend who dumped him, and he told the kitten, get that bitch," and the kitten was clawing at the picture with the on the one side of the picture with the woman on it. Then here the kitten comes up. It's like, get that bitch, and is helping this guy untie the ropes behind his back. That was cute. And then they picked up guns and ultimately have to kill these Allentown brothers, but not really, which I'll get to later. And then they go out, they get found out. They go with Method Man to This big guy's house is Luis Guzman. I like Luis Guzman. Nice to see him in the film. And they want these two guys to pretend to be the Allentown brothers, because by this time they found out they're full of shit. Because of what happened at the beginning, the guy that was killed at the beginning of the film is related to Luis Guzman. So they give them for money, but Luis Guzman also wants the kid, and Method Man doesn't want to give up the kid. He wants the kid for himself. So there's a big shootout. And there's some moments I liked. This guy, I will admit, the George Michael's music worked in this part where he's got the kitten, and he ultimately is able to do this flip off a wall, and in order to help avoid a bullet from Luis Guzman's gun. And then they get in a little car chase where Luis Guzman and one guy is in one car, then the other car is this guy. I like the kitten's on the front of the hood, and the guy's trying to get to the kid, and the kid runs up and jumps into Luis Guzman's face in the slow-mo as if it was an action bit. Again, the kitten steals the show. Honestly, without the kitten, the film would have sucked ass. I think that's really the problem of the film, is that the kitten is the best part of the movie, and the kitten is the star of the movie. But he's not in it that much. I'm like, fuck, by this point, just have to be from the kitten's point of view. Not dialogue or anything, except that Keanu Reeves drug sequence. But other than that, just have the kitten be the fucking star, because he was the best part of the movie. And he was the best. He was the best actor in the movie. And that's the thing, the kitten steals the show. And that's... When the kitten's on screen, it's good, but when he's not, it's... Sadly enough, that's just my honest thoughts. The kitten is the best part. Maybe that's why I'll put Keanu. The kitten is the best part. It is. I mean, the kitten was cute, and whoever trained it did an awesome job. And they weren't really... If they... I don't... It seemed like they used a real kitten throughout the entire film. It wasn't like a CGI kitten placed here and there, which was for a good choice. I just... Yeah, it was one of those things where it's just a bunch of jokes not working for me, and Anna Faris stuff. The George Michaels thing I thought went on too long. Like, at the beginning of the film, I think it would have been nice if these two had more time with the kitten to build that up. Because it's like the kitten arrives, and like in a span of a few hours, and we only see like 2 or 3 things where he feeds the kitten milk. I think he's going to take it to wash it because it's dirty. And then you see that the guy's photographing the kitten by dressing it up in these little scenes from movies like The Shining, which is an interesting idea, but I don't know. It just reminds me of how, women dress up their dogs in little clothes, and it's just... That part I didn't think was cute. I mean, I don't know. I think it would have been nice if the guy... He was just by himself, and he's playing with the kitten, and he's, having fun with... Treating the kitten like a kid, because he's lonely, and like, space it out. Hell, take some notes from 3 Men and a Baby, how those guys were dealing with the baby, have this guy deal with the kitten this way. Take some notes from that. And have it build up a little bit, but it's like in the span of like an hour or 2 hours, then they leave for a movie, then they come back, and then they go through all this. I'm like, you've only known this kid for like an hour or two. Which I know that's part of the joke, and I'm not supposed to be taking it as seriously as I'm saying. But I think it would have made the joke funnier to take it more serious. I think the more serious some of that stuff was taken, it would be even more funny. But hell, what do I know? It has a high rating 9 to B, and critics liked it. It just didn't do well at the box office, but a lot of people liked the film. And I don't hate the film. I thought it was an okay time waster. While I was doing stuff on my computer, I was paying attention. I was watching. It just didn't keep my interest. To watch it again, I probably just flipped to the kitten moments. Like at the end when he's holding the kid and the kid's licking his face, or at the end when he's talking on the phone and the phone is there and the kid, kind of puts his paw on the glass. Like, those are the moments to me that work the best. which is saying a lot, honestly. But again, that's just my thoughts, my opinion on it. For good or bad, for whatever you want to take from it. So, some bits of the score was nice. Uh, the stuff with the kitten was the best part of the movie. Stole the show. Key and Peele, I don't know. I guess they're just not my cup of tea. They're just not my. It's just not my kind of thing. It's not rant. I don't hate the film. It was just I don't know. I don't really think they have the most energizing personalities to be actors or movie stars or however you want to call it. I don't know. It was just an okay time waster to me. That's just my honest thoughts. It's one of those ones that it's hard to review a comedy. I'm like, did I laugh a lot? No. Did I chuckle a lot? No. Did I chuckle a little? Yeah, a little bit from here and there. At which parts? I don't even remember that much anymore. Which parts do I remember? The kitten. So the kitten is what you like the most? Yeah. And some teeny, like when it's going this epic music, trying to be like this epic film, and then it's a kitten running around or running around the city, or little bits of the action in the third act. That was fun, but I don't know. If you like Key and Peele, give it a look. If the idea intrigued you in the least bit, give it a look. But it was what it was. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.